What's going on out there, YouTube family? It's the Sammy Leggett here representing Team JVS. Just to let you guys know, this is my review for episode 7 of Invincible. We Need to Talk. This is going to be kind of spoiler filled, but I will give you guys a quick disclaimer. I've already seen the finale. And that's all I can say about that. I'm going to be breaking down episode 7. The things I loved about it, I'll say off rip, it's a 10 out of 10. It's a 10 out of 10 episode. Like, it literally started with, it started off from the last episode. Last episode, we kind of already knew that your boy Nolan wasn't having it anymore. His wife wasn't having it anymore, and he just couldn't control his rage, and he didn't know what to do with it because now everything is falling apart. Like, everything is like basically kind of like changing and shifting, and he's out of control at this point. And so he kind of like goes and leaves, or the wife kind of sets him up, like he needs to go run some errands and stuff like that. And he kind of goes and leaves, and you kind of find out that he basically goes to like a peak area and try to, in his head, like, all right, I need to have this conversation with my son. I need to kind of break this down to him. And, he goes back to the house. And at this point, Cecil has already got the wife. Like, she already is hip. He already knows. And now it's like, oh, my gosh. And the men start to attack him in his own home. Well, accidentally. It wasn't even supposed to go down like that. He slaughters them, Homelander style. Like he decimates these guys in these SWAT, invisible cloaks or whatever. And from that point, it's like, I need to find my son because I have to have a conversation with my son. Cecil, back off, right? Like, and he's kind of like on some like, okay, bet. I'm going to torture my way up to the top. This man literally drugged somebody out, threw him out. This woman, poor woman's literally dragging her corpse or her body that's been contorted backwards along the street. And she accidentally points out where she can get help because she's in pain. And then sure enough, he finds out where I like to call adult Bobby Hill is. And he goes out like a G. He detonates a nuke straight up on the house. And from that point, like, Nolan's not stopping. Like, he's going to try to find Mark. Unbeknownst to him, Mark is going out to help Eve out with kind of some stuff because he really needs to kind of break down everything, kind of how he's feeling because, he got dumped. Like, I'm saying, like, Amber basically kind of pumped the brakes on all of it. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, bro. I can't get behind what Amber did. If Amber knew freaking for months that Mark was in this situation, she knew then also that Mark was hurt, that he had gotten into a fight, that he had been putting his life on the line. Was he wrong for not telling her if he loves her? Possibly. Every Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, they go through that. But her response and her reaction is the issue here. She was like, shoot, go and do whatever you feel like. And yes, to a fault, technically, she doesn't have to accept being in a relationship with him. I get that. But she came off on the wrong foot. She could have said, you know what? I love you and I really want to be with you, but the world needs you more. Go and do that. We cannot be together. I appreciate what you've done. Because she made him feel like he walked away from helping his friend. Like, what are you talking about, dog? Like, nah, bro. I couldn't. That hurt her character from that point because now I could care less. And it basically threw her to the curve for Eve. Like, I'm like, well, Eve's a ride or die. Shoot, she got his back. She's been having his back. She even set to the sideline for him. And it's kind of like, it sucks because his friend William tried to console him. It's like, yeah, you know what? You kind of hurt her. And it was funny. Like, a whole moment in the car was funny. But, bruh. So he's out patrolling and doing stuff with Eve. And then they get this kind of distress call if something's going on. Unbeknownst to them, basically Cecil is throwing everything at your boy Nolan. And he's giving everyone that work. Everyone, everything. It doesn't matter. And they had to freaking throw a kaiju at him. Long story short, like some of the stuff that they were doing, I was just like, Cecil was like, yo, you know what? I don't got a choice. This man ain't backing down. I'm throwing robots at him. I'm throwing kaiju at him. I'm throwing nukes at him. I'm getting on the forefront myself. I'm trying to stop him. We're only slowing this man down because it ultimately trying to get to his son. And it's kind of on some like, yeah, they're not gonna stop him. It's not gonna happen at this point. So what do you do? What can you do? Eventually, Cecil comes up with the idea like I'm gonna pull Mark out, pull Eve out. It didn't matter because Mark being Mark, like he was ready to quit and all that. He was ready to stop being a hero, and he just couldn't deal with all of it. It was just too much for him, regardless of what his capability is. And Eve kind of talked them into it, and he ended up helping his dad because his dad was struggling against this kaiju because they souped this freaking kaiju up on some craziness, and like they were having a hard time with it. But at the same time, something else is going on, which was even crazier. Because basically, the character Robot, we find out that he's got an interesting backstory. We get to find out that, he's a deformed human who's barely breathing, barely on any kind of life support, but he's genius level grade, and he created the robot to kind of go and do what he can to help humanity. And then you find out that he had been making a clone to put his self in. And that's why he broke out the twins, or broke out, I forgot what the guy's name is, that has a clone of himself. And he outsmarted him, but he also put his life on line. Like, honestly, that episode, bro, it was a straight up savage episode, bro. Like, the robot legit was like, look, after he was cloned and everything, it was kind of on some the Prestige. Hugh Jackman's character, right? Hugh Jackman's character doesn't know after he's cloned who's going to be the one. Is it him or is it the clone that's going to come back? And that's the same exact thing that they're going through, like the twins as well as Robot. And when his clone comes out, he didn't know whether or not he was the real one or not, even though the physical, obvious side of it shows you who's the real, who's not. But even deeper than that, like he was like, what do you need me to do? We can preserve you. And it's like, no, like I'm done with this. Like, be better, do more, live as much as you can, do what you can, And it was a touching moment. But again, like there's a touching moment with your boy Nolan at the same exact location he was with his son, on the mountaintop at the peak, and just kind of leaving it all out to dry and trying to have that conversation with his son, but it didn't happen because his son wasn't there. All to you find out that the twins were like, they had to get some insurance, and so they had took in Immortal's body, and they were going to bring it back to life to go and basically control him. They couldn't control this man. They had no idea this man was going through so much trauma from what Nolan put him through. And this man, the moment that he woke up, he was like, "Where's Omni-Man? Where?" And like he straight up, right? He was tussling, going back and forth with your boy Omni-Man. And at the end of the day, at the end of it, by the end of the fight, and this is also why Nolan's eyes were so jacked up. Mark was able to defeat the kaiju on his own, crazily. And your boy Nolan was able to effectively subdue, kill, put a whole hole through this man's body of Immortal. But it was on live television. Everybody saw what was happening. On top of that, he freaking decapitated him in front of Mark. And the interesting thing is that he was able to kind of like try to blind him. That's why his eyes were so bloodshot. But it's just, it was insane, bro. And yeah, all I'm gonna say about the finale is from that moment, it kicks off right from that moment. And it does not let you go at all. I really, really wish I could say more, but I cannot. This is my spoiler review for episode 7. Stay tuned for what is it? Friday at 3 a.m. My review for Invincible episode 8, the finale, will drop. Okay? I'll talk to you guys soon. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Keep it locked. JVS. We ain't gonna stop. Talk to you guys soon.